Welcome back to the Lost Artistry Lash channel. Today's tutorial is one you are not gonna wanna scroll past because it's something that truly changed my career forever as a lash artist. And I have no doubts that if you master the technique I'm gonna show you in today's tutorial, it's gonna be the same for you. This one technique is gonna help you boost retention, create viral worthy lash sets, grow your clientele beyond imaginable belief, and elevate your styling to a point where you are known as the most elite level lash artist. I promise you that. It is without question one of the most well-rounded lash techniques you'll ever learn in the lash industry. Let's get into it. This is a placement technique. Crazy placement technique that's gonna help you with styling, retention of clients, retention of lash sets. How is that a thing? So the technique that we're learning today is called micro placement or micro connection points. What does this mean? Why am I talking about it? So micro connection points are quite literally making a very small points of contact between your lash extension. This is the lash extension. My fingers, the lash extension. And this is the natural lash. So you are quite literally gonna place your extension with micro points of connection. So usually the goal for a lot of people is to make as many points of contact as possible. Because the thought is, if you make as many points of contact as possible between the extension and the natural lash, it's gonna last longer, right? We're gonna get into that soon. So the video is gonna be broken out into multiple sections. We're gonna be covering why this technique matters for every single lash artist. Spoiler alert, when you see how impactful this is, you're not gonna believe you didn't learn it sooner. And if you have learned this, you are a master artist, no question. It is the one technique that can make a J or B curl, a super straight curl, look super lifted and dramatic, and it can make a super curly or impactful curl look downturned and have low impact. Isn't that crazy? After that, we're gonna cover how to technically use this technique. I'm gonna be walking you through the products you need to master this technique, and we're gonna be really diving into all the fine little details that will help you master this micro connection technique. And the last thing we're gonna cover in today's tutorial is when you would use this technique. Let's get into it. Are you excited? I certainly am, because I cannot wait to hear what you think of this technique. Please, please, please try it. Don't give up on it. It might take you a few times to master because it's definitely the thing that's gonna bring you from a beginner or intermediate artist to an advanced elite level artist. So it might take a few tries, be patient, but I promise you, you get this technique and you are going to just thrive in this industry. Just to get you a little bit hyped, I wanna show you some sets I've done that have used micro connection points. Here they are. All of these sets look so elite, right? They look like these master lash artists created it. Well, I can tell you with certainty, it actually isn't that hard. They look a lot more advanced than they are. The real secret to creating clean or tailored looks is this exact technique. All right, so let's get into the good stuff. So have you ever done a lash set? You found an inspiration photo online, you loved it, it has this perfectly tailored mapping just ready for you to replicate. And then you do it exactly like the mapping showed. But then when the client opens their eyes, it's the most underwhelming and disappointing thing ever because it looks nothing like you had expected. Chances are you've done that before. I know I have. And I used to think things like, this mapping must be wrong. They must have put it in wrong, or I would feel bad about myself, like what's wrong with me? Why can't I create these sets? And it wasn't until I learned this micro placement technique that I'm talking about today that I realized, you know what? These mappings aren't wrong. And I will preface that by saying that every person does need a little bit of a tailored map. So styling is very, very important. Not everyone will look good in the same mapping. But the clients who had striking similarities, and even sometimes I would do a mapping that a lash artist gave me on the same client that they did that mapping on and it would look completely different. So I realized that the mapping wasn't actually the issue. What the issue was is that my placement was incorrect to bring that set to life. And once I perfected my placement, I realized, okay, the curl is important, the lengths are important, the mapping, the shaping, all these things are important, but they can be manipulated pretty drastically by just shifting my placement. But not only can you just place your extensions on the top, the bottom, or the side of the natural lash, but you can also impact the results of the set by just either slightly or exaggerating the placement angle with which you place on any side of the natural lash. So your styling really goes to a whole new level once you dive into techniques like these. Now, the obvious question, and this is the myth that I'm about to bust, is, I'm not gonna have good retention when I make small points of contact between the natural lash and the extension. We're taught that you need to have as many points of contact as possible to get amazing retention. And the truth is that's a complete myth. I understand it in theory, but the thing about theory is that it's not always accurate in practice, right? And this is one of those things that I have tested again and again. I swear to you, all you need, you're gonna be like, there's gonna be like fireworks going off, or you're gonna be mind blown completely when you hear this, but you only need 0.5 millimeters of connection in order to get exceptional retention. Isn't that crazy? Just take a moment here and just look at this retention. This is a client at 4 weeks with micro connection points. So the natural lash is only connected to the extension by the smallest amount, and it lasts incredibly well, and it can be very, very comfortable for the client as well. The biggest thing is that your extension and your natural lash sit completely flush with one another. So if this still feels a little crazy to you, I'm gonna tell you with certainty that you've done this before without even really thinking about it. Most artists have. For example, if you've placed a D-curl, so a super curly lash, let me just flip my hand backwards and upside down. So if you place a super curly lash, this is a D-curl. If you place a D-curl lash on a natural lash that's straight and downturned, you've had no choice but to make a micro point of connection, because it's impossible to make a lot of points of contact between such a curly lash and a straight natural lash. And same goes for maybe placing a B curl or a J curl on clients who have super curly natural lashes, or even an L curl on someone who has lifted or curly natural lashes. You have no choice but to make small connection points. So chances are at some point, without actually even thinking about it, you've done this before. And it's worked great. Your retention's probably been amazing. Like I said, as long as your base is flush between the natural lash and the extension, your retention will totally be fine. And if your retention is bad when you've done this before, it's probably just that your connection point hasn't been perfect. The base has probably been just a little bit lifted away from the natural lash. And that's okay, because we're gonna perfect that today. Now, why does this even matter? Why would you even want to use this technique? Why is it even important to learn? Reason number 1, curl perception manipulation. Micro placement points help you exaggerate any curl visually. So you can make a curl that's super straight, looks super lifted and exaggerated and dramatic. And you can, like I mentioned before, you can make any curl that's super dramatic and lifted look downturned and droopy. This technique is particularly very important to master for advanced styles like anime styles, because these styles require very soft curls, but also for the spikes to be very noticeable. So if we're working with clients who have very downturned natural lashes and we want the spikes to be noticeable, but we need to use soft curls, we need to work with these soft curls, but make them look very exaggerated and very dramatic. So we quite literally have to connect tiniest amount of the extension to the natural lash. Reason number 2, rogue lash correction. So if you're not familiar with what a rogue lash is just a lash that doesn't sit in line with any of the other lash layers. A rogue lash can look like this, when it's on the top layer, you see how it sits higher than the rest of the natural lashes? This can become very troublesome because if we are to place an extension, which we often have to in order to create spiked looks or anime looks or wispy looks or whatever, we have to utilize a lot of the top layer lashes. And if some sit a little higher than others, like this rogue lash, then what ends up happening is the extension that we place ends up looking longer and more dramatic than we intend for that spike or lash to look. So we can look a little unintentional. And then we can also have rogue lashes that look like this. So it's exact opposite. This rogue lash sits underneath the bottom lash line. So for this kind of lash, you're gonna wanna be very careful and place your extension on an upward angle so it looks like that natural lash actually sits in line with the lash layer that it's closest to. So it doesn't look wonky and bumpy across the bottom layer. Reason number 3, directional sets. So an example of a set that needs micro connection points is a set like a fox eye lash set. It looks like this here. To get a true winged liner effect or an exaggerated outward direction, chances are you're gonna have to connect your lash extension a little something like this. Crazy. So this right here in my hand would be your extension, and this here would be the natural lash. Okay, here's an actual graphic of it so you can get a better visual. So most natural lashes point straight up. Some point to the right, some point to the left, some are crisscrossed over one another. Regardless of what the natural lash looks like, you have to be able to visually look at it and have your design in mind and then connect the extension in whatever way is necessary to bring your design to life. Okay, so let's get into the technical portion of today's video. Before we dive into our actual mannequin work, let's talk about the necessary products we're gonna need for our micro placement sets. Let's dive into the technical portion of today's demo. So first things first, what am I using for today's demo and why? I have my mannequin here. This is our 3-layered mannequin. I'm gonna be using this to show you the technique, starting with pre-service prep. Pre-service prep is so important when mastering this micro placement technique because the natural lashes have to be completely anti-slip. You need instant grip. That's gonna be very, very important. So here's what I do. I always start by cleansing, always start with that, and then I double rinse to make sure that there is no cleanser left on the natural lashes. Then I go in and start with Band-Aid primer. Now, if your clients have dry natural lashes, you can skip the primer and go right into step number 2, which is Super Bonder. But I am working on a mannequin today, and I do have lots of clients who have normal to oily natural lashes, so I will definitely want to consider priming most clients. Prep the lashes to get a magnetic connection so there is no slip. If you have slippery lashes, forget this technique. It's gonna be super, super hard. So really prime the natural lashes. Now, if I was working on a regular client, I would now dry the natural lashes as well, but I'm working on a mannequin, so we're not gonna worry about irritating her eyes by any means. And then I'm gonna go in with Super Bonder, this product right here. So now I'm going in with Super Bonder. Super Bonder can act as a primer for clients who have dry to sometimes normal natural lashes, particularly for regular services. I would really suggest priming for this service for most clients simply because it's such a precise placement technique that you really want the natural lashes to work in your favor. But Super Bonder's job for this technique is to create a magnetic-like connection. So Super Bonder has curing properties in it. And if the lash can instantly cure without shock curing, then you're gonna have much more success with micro placements because it will instantly grip and cure, and then you can just let go of your extension. You're not kind of wiggling it around or playing with it or fighting with it to make that good connection point. So that is a definite must product. So that's gonna go on after, once I've let my Band-Aid dry. now my lashes are prepped. I'm ready to master this technique. The next thing I want to talk about is adhesive. So your adhesive is very important, just like your pre-service prime is really important. Your adhesive choice is super important for this technique as well. I like to work with Quickie. It's a 1-second curing glue. And I like this particular glue because of its viscosity and cure time. You want a glue that has instant grip, but also gives you just a second to perfect the angle with which you want to place your extension. That is why Quickie is amazing. The viscosity makes it so you can really connect even the tiniest amount of the extension to the natural lash and it will do its job. And also that extra 0.5-second cure time is going to help prevent you from experiencing shock curing. If you were to use a glue that cures a little bit too fast for this technique, what's going to happen is you're going to have a weakened bond and you're going to end up with poor retention, particularly with these very fine connection points. So I feel very confident suggesting this glue to you for this technique. Lash-wise, I'm using our matte collection and I'm doing this demo with B-curl lashes. I'm only using B-curl because it's such a straight curl and it's a curl that a lot of people struggle with. They often don't like the result of B-curl lashes, but it's usually because it's just too soft and droopy looking when it's placed incorrectly. So I think it'll be a really nice curl to show you just how impactful and how lifted this curl can look when you use this technique. But just so you know, you can totally use this technique for literally any curl on any client. Next thing is our inspection mirror. This is a really important product. I use it for every single service. Reason being is because we need to lash with the intention of making the set look good with the client's eyes open. So I will often just hold my mirror up to my client. After every spike that I place, to make sure that my placement's nice and good and the spikes look exactly how I expect them to. So this is a super important product and is a very, very helpful tool. And then lastly, which tweezers am I choosing? Today I'm working with very versatile tweezers. I'm working with our Sunset Ultra tweezer. I love this tweezer because it has a very fine pointed tip and a nice curvature. And the fine pointed tip will help you to weave through and isolate even the toughest natural lashes. So if you struggle with lashing curly or super fine, thin natural lashes, then this tweezer is gonna completely change the game for you. I have no question in my mind that you will absolutely love it if you're struggling with isolation right now. It's definitely our best-selling isolation tweezer. And then I'm also working with our Slim Boot tweezer, very versatile, just a really standard, great volume tweezer. Okay, so let's get into the actual placement techniques and you can kind of get a better visual of what I've been explaining for the last 20 minutes or so. So first I'm gonna demo placement up, then I'm gonna demo a downward placement, and then I'm gonna show you a sideways placement, so a directional placement. Okay, so because I'm working on a mannequin and it's not like a real client, please bear with me because I'm not going to place the extension 0.5 millimeters from the skin like I normally would. I just want you to see the impacts of the placement. So don't come after me about placing far away from the skin. I swear, I usually place really close. But just so you can really see what I'm doing, I think it'd be best to place further away. And I'm gonna use this one natural lash and place my extensions on the one natural lash so you can actually see the impacts of this side by side. So like right beside one another on the exact same lash. And I'm gonna do my examples quite exaggerated. It can be super tilted away from the natural lash or it can just be slightly tilted away from the natural lash. It really just depends on the look that you're going for. Now let's do the exact opposite of that. I'm gonna tilt this one down. So there you have it. You can see how on the same natural lash, how impactful your placement really is. for the exact same product. So this one on top looks super lifted, even though it's a V curl. On the bottom, it looks so much more downturned. So you can keep your extensions super exaggerated in placement like this, or you can meet in the middle anywhere. It can be slightly lifted, just like this graphic here. There's no right or wrong, you just have to use your discretion. So now let's look at how you would direct your lash to the side of the natural lash to create a very directed appearance for those fox eyelash looks that we talked about earlier. Okay, I've got my lash set up and I'm going to now direct it all the way out as if I were really exaggerating it to look directed outward to create fox eyelash looks or something along those lines. So again, please note that this is a mannequin and I'm not going to place super close to the skin only because you won't be able to see what I'm doing. Okay, so there you have it. Directionally, it's directed all the way out and the natural lash sits up. Now, to anyone who's wondering how these actually last, let's see if these come off super easily. Look at that. Okay, so those demos that I did on the mannequin are pretty exaggerated examples, and I want to show you that visually again, but on an actual client. So please enjoy this video right here so you can see it. And again, just remember that you don't have to exaggerate the lift as much as I've shown here. This is simply meant to show you how far you can take it. It can really be whatever you visually want to create. Just use it to your advantage however you feel fit. Also, if you like this tutorial, you will 100% love any of our online trainings that we offer here at Lost Artistry. The best part is we have styling webinars, retention webinars, and they're gonna be up to 50% off this Black Friday. That means you can dive into some of our trainings for as little as $20. That's insane, particularly our webinars. If you like today's tutorial, you like how I personally train, definitely check those out while they're on super sale. Our whole site, in fact, is gonna be on sale, so if you wanna try any of these products or anything else we carry at Lost Artistry, you can check it out November 14th, which is when we have our early access sale. It's gonna be for 24 hours only, and it's for those people who want to get ahead of the Black Friday rush and stock up without any concerns of products that they love selling out. Alrighty guys, let me know, what did you think of today's tutorial? Did you enjoy it? Do you have any constructive criticism for me? I am all ears. Hope you enjoyed. See you in the next one.